Hello everyone, Nika here with your daily neuro nuggets. So I am back from camping and it was amazing except for the time that I woke up and I was basically in a raft inside my tent because it was flooded. But here we are again, energized and ready to talk about the stuff that matters. By the way, if you have not watched my last video, please do not watch it. I was very bored and had basically no internet, and was stuck in a thunderstorm. So yeah, don't go watch that video. I'll leave it up because it's still me. It's still a part of me, and I think you guys should see us humans in different scenarios. That being said, I'm going to be talking about the FBI today because you are a person that loves truth. Yes, you are, and so am I. You are a person that loves justice. You are, yes, you are, and so am I. We want truth and justice, and all of us here want the same thing. We want the right person to go to jail, not some random dude from the East Coast that is maybe a little bit awkward or is an outsider or anybody else. We want the right person to pay for their crime, right? Yes, that's right. Now, this case has been full of red flags from day one. All you have to do, by the way, to find the first red flag, in my opinion, is read through the PCA. But before we get started, I almost forgot. I did brew some tea for you. Mingan cha. It is Chinese tea. I purchased this at the Chinatown in Chicago. So Mingan cha has been traditionally used to clear inflammatory conditions of the sinus passages. And especially around this time of year, lots of pollen, lots of stuff. I am not a doctor. This is not medical advice. Talk to your doctor. You will not sue me. This is not medical advice. Don't take medical advice from YouTubers. I'm sorry. That should just be out there, but cheers. Now this smells so sweet, so floral, slightly grassy, and yes, it's kind of pale straw yellow. And the taste is smooth, like a sweet grass. If any of you have ever had wheatgrass shots, maybe that's just me. This kind of reminds me of that. Not bitter, very sweet, sweet wheatgrass. Delicious. Now, as I was saying, this case has been full of red flags from day one. Read the PCA. But the fact that the FBI was involved from basically day one is also a big red flag to me. Now, I'm shocked by how many people still don't know that the FBI was actually protecting the DNA that was found at the crime scene belonging to 3 other people. Why in the world is the FBI doing that? That's a big red flag. Don't we want the right people to go to jail? Let's assume, let's just imagine, even if BK was involved, why wouldn't you test the DNA of 3 other people? Why would you protect it? Don't you want everybody that was involved in the IDAHO4 to go to jail? Now, let me remind you of other red flags. First of all, we have 2 unarmed surviving frozen shock phase people. And supposedly they never heard anything, they never saw anything, and they were frozen, but they called friends over, right? Before calling the police, right? Because that's what normal people do. Let's just call friends over to just mess this crime scene up, potentially. Now, there is also the one latent footprint right outside of Dylan's room. No DNA anywhere else. Not in Brian's house, not in his parents' house, not in his vehicle, nothing. But there's a random footprint outside of Dylan's house. And it just makes us wonder if the FBI had the wrong person from the get-go. They needed a scapegoat. They messed up. They maybe thought they had the right person, and Now they realize, oh shit, we screwed up. We need to backtrack. Or maybe, let's not backtrack. You know what? We've already come this far. Let's just effing pin it on this guy. We're already this far. 18 months, a year and a half, basically. That's not the right thing to do. So, other weird red flags. Not involving the FBI. Let's not forget the frantic calls to Jack D coming from Kaylee and Maddie's phone right before the crime took place, and then silence, right? Let's not forget the wrong vehicle that was supposedly from this year to this year and then got shifted. And then there's this other abandoned white Elantra found in Oregon. Let's not forget, ladies and gentlemen, the knife sheath. Oh yes, the only source of DNA that we magically have. Not only that, but it magically appeared on the second check, right? How convenient for the FBI is that? And of course, we have the FBI up to their freaking elbows in this case. Right? The FBI did the cast work, and according to Shiiiii, if the FBI actually did their work in a proper, scientifically valid way, there's no way in HE double hockey sticks that the STR profile could have been completed in the time frame that the FBI says that they completed this in. Okay, this cast report, this STR profile, all very unscientifically valid. They're not valid, they are not valid. Now, let's again assume, even if BK was guilty, he should probably not be convicted regardless. You know why? Do you know why? I'm not saying that we should let out serial unalivers on the loose. That's not what I'm saying. Don't twist my words, internet. I'm saying that even if he was guilty, the fact that this case has been horribly, horribly mishandled has ruined this case. Even if he was guilty, because of the mishandling that took place, it has now left doubt in all of our minds to know if the evidence is even authentic. Is it even real? Why? Because the FBI. You can thank the FBI. And the FBI, a long time ago, back when this case first went global, said, oh, you know what? Remember that one lady out in PA that was unalived forever ago? Let's pin that on Brian, shall we? Let's try to, at least. But we know they were wrong. We know that that woman that was unalived back in PA had nothing to do with Brian Kohberger. And I believe that what the FBI was trying to do was to paint this horrible picture for us, because they understand psychology as I understand psychology. They know that if you put it out there, even if it's not true, and you just mention it once out in the media that BK may have been associated with this random crime that took place in the same state that he's from, people are sometimes not very smart. Not everybody is as intelligent as you and I. So people remember that phrase and it sticks with them. And now they're like, oh yeah, he also did this other thing to some other lady back in this other state, which is not true. And we know that is not true. And boom, they have their scapegoat. Easy as 1, 2, 3. What really irks me about the FBI is that, again, we're all human. I'm a scientist. I have made horrible mistakes. I am not perfect. I wish I was. But when you make a scientific mistake, especially if it has somebody's life in any way, shape, or form, whether it's a patient or an animal or a person that might be convicted as effing guilty and might get the death penalty? Hello? Yes, you'd better freaking double check your work. And if you notice any discrepancies whatsoever, you need to go solve that discrepancy. Because if you don't, you are doing something not only immoral, you're doing something illegal. So if the FBI made a mistake, they can still go back and fix that mistake. But if they have the mentality of a 5-year-old and say, you know what, that can't be fixed, we're too far gone in this case, let's just try to squash it all down, and we know he's not the guy, but we'll try to fix it in the background. Yeah, you can't do that. You can't unfix that or fix that. You can't undo that in the background. You know why? Because you've already ruined this man's life. His name has been plastered for the last 1.5 years all over every single paper, every single social media website, that he supposedly committed this horrible crime of unaliving 4 young, beautiful people. So don't fix it in the background. Fix it up front if he's not the guy. But that's just my opinion. That's just me, Nika, here. What can I say? Except that the FBI, they also, like Moscow PD, have a track record of corruption. And it would be corrupt to not acknowledge and fix your mistakes up front. It would be. So we can only keep our fingers crossed and hope for the best. If you guys have any solutions, let me know down in the comments. If you like this video, leave a like. If you don't like this video, leave a love. If you are feeling some sort of way about the FBI, please let me know your comments in the comment section. I am definitely very ecstatic to read anything about this crime. Again, there's a whole bunch of other red flags in this case not involving the FBI, such as no dog howling, or the fact that, you know, the first 911 call that was actually placed after the frats had already arrived at 1122 King Road post-crime was placed about somebody that had passed out. So let's hear it. I want to hear the call. I want to hear how the FBI completed this STR profile and how they got their CASHAPP report. I want to hear everything. So I never know how to say goodbye. Goodbye. And by the way, I don't really know anything about sports. I just like the color green. It's my favorite color. And pink. So have a good night. Bye-bye. Oh, leave me an emoji.